Okay, so what we got going on here is a pretty good tear in the entryway of this mobile home, and I'm going to show you how to patch a vinyl floor where you can't notice it. So if you look here, it looks like it's actually stuck down right now, where it looks like maybe the tenant tried to fix it themselves, because it is stuck down pretty daggum good, but as you can see, it's a big rip. So I'm gonna just go through the process here and show you how to fix it. So I'm gonna put this little headpiece on, that way you can see what's going on. Okay, so what I want to do, again, I hope that's at a good angle. It's hard to judge whether that's good or not. So what I want to do, I'm going to take my razor knife and I want to cut just as close to that grout line as I possibly can without getting on it, okay? And I got to take both these blocks out to get to that. So I want to cut real close to the grout line all the way down. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing to this side. Actually, let me do it this way first. I hope you can see that. I'm going to cut all the way down without getting in the grout line. Getting really close, okay? Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to cut right beside the grout line. Kind of harder to see on this side of the grout line because my knife is casting a shadow. So, anyway, let's see here. That's better like that. Okay, so now that I got that cut, I'm going to take my knife and just pull that out, okay? Well, let's hope they didn't damage the wood as they tore the flooring there. Don't look like it. Looks pretty good. Okay, so they definitely used some kind of a super glue or something. We want to get all that mess out. Get it as clean as we possibly can there. We don't want any humps or trash or anything underneath of it. We want to try to get it nice and clean. Okay. So now that I've got that out, still just a little bit of garbage there. Okay, so now that I've got all this pulled up and cleaned out, I want to take my trowel. I don't know if you can see or not, but this was put down with a pressure sensitive glue, so there's actually little ribs of glue still on the floor. So I'm not going to bother. Most of the time I would clean my trowel out and make these grooves make them real clean so it would leave plenty of glue, but there's already grooves in the floor from the previous install, okay? So bins we didn't, I want to cut that off the top, and that's going to make it easier to get up close there, okay? So bins we didn't go all the way to the grout line. It's not going to hurt if we touch the vinyl. So can you see those ridges running the other way? So this is going to be like way more than enough glue. I can actually go all the way to the vinyl and touch it with my trowel, because that little dab there is going to be cut out, because we're going to put our seam right dead in the center of that grout line. That's why I didn't want to cut the grout line, okay? So I want to make sure I get a nice glue coverage, and I'm going to try to find the exact same blocks that I took out. I've already done several patches here on this for this lady, and it seems like every single time it's always the same block that's tore up. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to find the same block or not. I might just have to put a different block in there, which really, it ain't going to make that big of a difference. I mean, mixed all in with this, so if it was all out in the middle of a big wide open floor and it was all shiny and stuff like that, it might matter. But okay, so let's see here. We got let me open that door up to have some plenty of light. So this is our piece we've got to work with here. Okay, I'm going to use this. Now notice I'm cutting outside of the grout line, okay? I don't really think it's going to matter if it's turned or whatever, but I am going to stick it right. See here, this is actually that, so we're going to make sure it goes just like that, okay? And we want to let that glue set up just a little bit. So while that's setting up, I'll come back here and show you two more patches that I did here. Okay, so where this block is setting, this square right here, I actually cut out and put in. See, it's got the little blue mark what we was looking at in there. So, and right here in the bathroom, I did this section, these two lines right here. I done both of those, which again, the little blue spots. So I don't know what the deal with that is. Every single time something gets messed up, it's the same block. So I don't know. Anyway, we want to let that glue set just a few minutes, and then we'll go from there. Okay, I'm going to roll this vinyl up the opposite way it has been. That way it's getting them creases out of it there. Okay, so I'm going to do the same with this. I want to roll it up the opposite way, just like so. Let's see, I guess we're done with this glue, so I'll go ahead and take this. Okay, once again, this is a releasable pressure sensitive glue. This is the glue that you can pick up from Lowe's. It is the same thing, fiberglass backed sheet flooring and carpet tiles. So again, if you you can roll it or trowel it, but naturally I'm not going to roll it in this small area. So you can put this in wet, or you can put it in dry. If you put it in wet, it's going to make a permanent bond. If you put it in dry, it's going to be releasable, where I could pull it up just like I did this square right here. So I like to get it just kind of in between, that way it's good enough to hold. And I just like to work it like that, okay? So you can see a lot of the clear area is dry and a lot of the white area is still wet. So I'm gonna give it just another minute there to dry up just a little bit more, okay? And then I'll be happy with that and we'll go with it, okay? The owner's actually coming down here. I asked her permission to do this video, but it's kind of a little weird to do this in front of people. So I'm gonna try to get this done before she gets here. Okay, so I want to go ahead and get on this. Now, in the placing of this tile, of this piece of scrap here, if you'll watch your grout lines here and there, here and there, and then also this way, here and here, if you get them all lined up, you should be good everywhere, okay? So there, so long as you got it laying the same direction, which, let's see here. Here's that. See this little pattern and that little pattern, and here and here. So that lets me know that I do have it going the same direction. So if I just get all of my lines matched up, when I make my cut, it's going to be perfect. Okay, key thing is make sure you get all your stuff lined up real good. Okay, let's see here. Actually, it looks like right there, that looks a little bit off, and that looks a little bit off for some reason. So let me come back just barely. Right there, right there, right there. Okay, so I think I'm happy with that. Yep. Okay, there we go. There. Okay, there we go. So I'm okay with that. We got this matched up, that matched up, there and there, there and there. Okay, so now what I want to do, I just want to make sure it don't move. So I'm going to take my little hand roller and just roll that real good down in the glue, okay? I'm not 100% what kind of vinyl this is, so I just have a multi-purpose Taylor premium seam sealer for fiberglass sheet goods. I'm not sure exactly what kind of vinyl it is, so I couldn't get the exact same kind there. Okay, so now if you'll remember, I stayed just a tad bit away from my grout line. So now what I want to do, I want to place my straight edge right dead center. I hope you can see this good. I'm going to place this right dead center. Let me put this out there, maybe that'll help hold that. Right dead center of my grout line, there and there, and I'm going to make my cut. I just want to go maybe just barely, say here's my grout line, I'm maybe just barely past it, okay? So I'm going to start just right on the other side of that. Key thing, keep your knife straight up and down, okay? I'm going to stop right there. See where my knife stopped? I'm just past my grout line, okay? So now, I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to go right dead center of my grout line there and there. And make my cut again. Again, I want to make sure I go all the way past my cut right there. See that? Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing over here. It's gonna be a little harder to see, but cast a shadow on this side, so I'm gonna go, but I'm doing the same thing. I'm just going center of my grout line right there and right there. Okay, now I went right past my cut again. So now I will explain why I stopped at my grout line. So if you look at people look at the websites and stuff when they teach you how to seam, they'll actually have you take a knife or something and create a little trough for your seam sealer, okay? So I don't have to, because I've got that much play that does not have glue, but it's going to work perfect for my seam sealer, okay? So I want to just raise the edges up a little bit, just put a fine bead. It ain't got to be a whole gob, because it's going to be all good. Okay, now this is going to squeeze out, so I'm going to have to run out and grab a rag. I forgot to get my rag. But anyway. Okay. Let me run out to my van real quick and grab a rag. It's going to squirt all over. It's going to get all over my roller. It's going to get all over the vinyl. But it's going to wipe right up with a wet rag. So now the key thing is you don't want to get too much water to where water seeps down in the crack and causes your seam sealer to get wet under the the vinyl, okay? You want to wring it out real good. That way it's just dampened and it's not wet. Because you don't want to get water under the vinyl. Okay, so see, this is already squeezing out. I'm going to take my thumb and I'm just going to zip it up like a Ziploc bag, okay? Zipping right up there. All that excess is okay because it's going to wipe off. Okay. Okay. Same thing here. I'm just going to zip it right up just like a Ziploc bag. Okay. It's kind of tight, but that's good. Zipping it right up like a Ziploc. Okay. Now, take my roller. I'm going to roll that again. I want to make sure I roll all the edges real good. And to make sure we don't have stuff like this, I want to take the very edge of my roller and just mash that down real good. All along the edge of that, okay? It's going to continually come out, but that's okay. You just continue cleaning up behind yourself there. Once it gets dry and sticky, it's a little harder to work with, okay? So just get it up while it's wet. You'll be doing all good. Okay. So there we go. Got that all done. That's all there is to it. Got a little bit silver coming out right there. They're gonna have to recaulk the back door. I don't have the right color they want to use. I discussed that with them the other day. They don't want to use white, they want an almond, and I don't have an almond, so her husband is actually going to caulk it himself. So I'm still just using the edge of that just to make sure that that stays down really good, okay? This vinyl's been sitting in the cold for a long time, so it's actually wanting to try to curl up on us there. So that's why I had the block back there in the back on that one, because it was cold, trying to curl up on us. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the same thing with this. I'm going to get some kind of a flat weight, set right on this, and there you go. Here's the damaged piece. And there's the new piece.